This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Let your imagination take flight with an AI-powered PC from Lenovo. Whether it's creating digital art, designing new software, or building a portfolio for a future career, our PCs are powered by Intel Core Ultra processors to help students unlock smarter learning and unleash their creativity. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. All you have to do is choose the one that fits your passion. Head to Lenovo.com to shop AI PCs and find your perfect companion. Plus, get 5% off when you create an education account.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woo-hooer, a hand clapper, a high-fiver? If you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. Choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You know, some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com. ODOO.com.
Want to chime in on what's happening with your favorite KFAN program? Make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Bryan text line. Let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard message and data rates apply.
Couple 13-14 past. This is the Common Man program, hour number 3. I'm Common. He's Tenemy, joined by the legendary Mark Rosen. Tenemy, go ahead. Hit the sound effect.
What am I hitting the sound effect for?
What's that?
Bet. I'll take Florida. You can have Edmonton.
Are you going to pay me the other bet you owe me? The $4? Whatever?
I don't know you.
I think he owes me $4.
I owe him. What do I owe you for?
I don't ask Power Trip bets. I think we had one. I don't know. I thought we did
you're making that up as you go along.
I don't know. But who do you want to make a wager on the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, you're Mr. You just despise any team from the South that plays hockey.
I don't despise
Well, you
them.
basically, you do.
No, it's not a negative towards Florida.
No,
it's a
negative.
positive towards Edmonton. I want Connor McDavid to raise the cup as he so richly deserves. I don't know. I just like...
He doesn't deserve it until he wins it.
I mean, Florida should be the favorite.
Tenemy, I thought Edmonton was a favorite.
I think Edmonton's a slight favorite.
Yeah, Florida might be better than they were a year ago. I don't know.
Tenemy, where's the chicken sound effect?
No, I'll make a bet with you. Of course. Oh, yeah.
Well, then...
50, 20, 10?
50 cents? Let's go a little more than that. I mean,
I saw your son in here yesterday. Yeah, he's living at home, so I mean, I know I don't want to take money out of his pocket.
I'll go
4, 6. What?
I'd go $5. All
right,
$5.
I'll take.
I got
Wayne Gretzky's Oilers.
I got Florida.
It's 7-game series last year, and I mean here we are. It's just June 4th, and NHL final, Stanley Cup Finals start tonight.
I've always felt, I heard you talking about with Deuce, I think offhandedly, or maybe it was on air, and I just wasn't paying that close attention. But I do find it, again, it's just the way it is. They stretch them out, but still playing the winter sports in June, basketball, and especially hockey, but hockey and basketball, it should be over by now. It's sort of like with baseball. They're playing the World Series in the middle of November. It's like, what are we doing
And they had
here?
that extra delay. I mean, it got to the point where the coach literally led his team to the finals of the Eastern Conference and then the NBA. As we know, the Knicks, Thibodeau got fired before they started.
He's done so.
Before they started the NBA Finals, which is like head shaking, for whatever reasons. That mismanaged bunch out there in New York, the ownership. As they say, they could screw up a 2-car funeral. They never make the best decisions, and that's why they are where they've been for many decades. Dolan and whoever his associate is these days.
The NBA finals start tomorrow night. It's certainly the Thunder is a prohibitive favorite. I've tried, and matter of fact, I tossed and turned last night and couldn't fall asleep right away.
I'm sorry to hear that.
4 minutes took me to fall asleep.
4 minutes.
And that was because I was trying to figure out a way how the Pacers could win this series, and I don't see it. I don't see a way unless you can figure out one. I guess if you have if they smother SGA, have a slumping SGA, and Halliburton and the other guy or the couple of guys they have, what is it?
Pascal.
Yeah, Pascal and Neesmith.
Neesmith's a good 3-point shooter.
Yeah, if those guys play brilliant, then I suppose, but I won't bet you on that unless you want to give me the Thunder.
No. I find myself already kind of rooting for the underdog, although I think OKC has positioned themselves so well over the years. I know there's people, they have nothing but time on their hands since the game doesn't start till tomorrow night, about breaking down how you see these stories many times, how this franchise was built,
right?
And OKC and there's just this Paul George, 7 degrees of Paul George involving all these teams, in particular OKC, who had their run with Durant and Westbrook and who else am I missing? Harden, yeah. Here they are, the former Seattle, franchise, and they're in great position not only to win this year, but to compete at the highest level for a number of years. They have draft picks galore, and
like for me, it's hard to dislike the Thunder. Yet I start disliking teams. I was like, they're going for their 4th championship in the last 5 years, and I want to see somebody else, unless it's your own team. But because this team has never accomplished a world championship, and they've done it the way I like it, where they play a lot of players. They play really good defense. They're number 1 defensive team in the league.
Hard to dislike anything about him.
And then I like Hungry Holmgren. He's one of us, and I've watched him play as a high schooler. So it's hard pressed for me to want to see the pay. I have no attachment to the Indiana Pacers in any way, shape, or form.
I think Shaq laid it out pretty well too, in talking about not just players going to so-called small market teams, but fans being interested in it. I think because of the world of social media and the way we connect. The fact that it's Oklahoma City and the Indiana Pacers as opposed to the Lakers and the Celtics or the Knicks and Golden State or whomever, it's I think it's refreshing. And I think as a basketball fan, you just go, listen, as it turned out, these were the 2 best teams. Indiana more than earned its way to the championship. And obviously OKC's been the best team in basketball all year long. So,
except for that one night. When we rallied back from a 49-point deficit with 4 minutes to go.
Well, again, like I said, I think Indiana's probably, Rick Carlisle's a smart coach. I mean, they've been looking at, I'm sure, a lot of tape of the series that OKC had with Denver when the Nuggets and Joker extended them to 7 games. They got blown out in the 7th game, but they made it a 7-game series. So they can be vulnerable. They can be had. I remember watching that 7th game thinking, man, if Denver wins this game, the Wolves are going to play Denver for a chance to go to the NBA. And I thought, man, this is a team that they can beat because they've always beaten them. They've always had success against them. But obviously, OKC flexed its muscles, and I think they'll do it again over a period. I think they'll win it in 6.
The one thing the Pacers have done is they have 3 wins in postseason when trailing by 7+ points in the final minute.
That's amazing.
So they have been able to rally. Here's a text message that says, I'm shocked Rosen's picking Edmonton, the blue-collar working city, over the lavish and stylish Miami area Panthers.
Yuck.
Love to see this side of Mark.
Yeah, yuck.
He loves to see this side of you. Because you usually would be the posh and Tony,
I'd rather go to Gary,
people.
Indiana than to Miami, Florida.
Oh my gosh.
I don't nothing about the eastern side of Florida. 0. Nothing. Intrigues me none. Especially their sports teams.
Wow.
They don't give a rip about them. So I'm sure hockey. There are 16,000 hockey fans, and they'll all be in attendance.
You don't think they like their Miami Dolphins in Miami, Mark?
I mean, they have. It hasn't been best of times for them. Hey, speaking of Team Miami,
have you been to Gary, Indiana?
My wife was from Gary, Indiana, many times.
No.
Nice choice by picking the Colorado Rockies to jump on their hideous
They won
bandwagon.
3 in a row.
They just swept. Speaking of Miami, they just
jinxed them.
They swept them.
I jinxed my.
You did.
I'm really annoyed by it.
I know you are.
We'll break and come back. More with Mark Rosen here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
Are you shopping for a new laptop while still trying to keep up with technology and AI? Talk about feeling burnt out. But no more. Lenovo.com makes it easier than ever to find the perfect PC. In fact, we'll break it down for you. Step 1. Shop our lineup of AI PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Because why deal with downloading new software when you can buy a smarter PC that already comes with all of the AI features and tools? Step 2. Find the one that fits your passion. Whether you're a creative genius, a research scientist, a hardcore gamer, or a future CEO, no dream is too big. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. You can keep up with your ideas as well as any challenges you may face. Step 3. Add to cart and purchase. Oh, if you're a college student or a teacher, make an education account through us and get 5% off your whole order. Shop now at Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
Couple 13-14 past. I'm Common East Tennessee. Mark Rosen here as well. Twins just continue to win.
Yeah.
It seems like they're winning 3 out of every 4, 4 out of every 5. They had a 13-game winning streak at one point. They win yesterday, but there was some difficult news coming out health-wise. Pablo Lopez leaves the game in the 5th or 6th inning, felt something in his latimus muscle and his shoulder, and he just decided, if I try to, the quotes in the Phil Miller piece in the Fish Wrap Factory West Side, I'm paraphrasing what Lopez said, but something, if I try to gut it out here, what if something worse happens? So discretion being the better part of valor, one of my favorite sayings. He pulls himself out there. We're going to do some kind of testing today and imaging and all that. I've not heard anything yet, but to lose him for any extended period of time certainly wouldn't help the pitcher. They have a strong staff, but he's one of the top 2 guys on it. So.
Yeah, he came out. He pitched 5 innings, came out for the 6th, and I guess he threw a couple warm-up pitches, and then that's when he felt the discomfort and rightfully just got himself out of the game. I'm sure he'll go on the injured list. I mean, what that means, a couple weeks? I hope it's not any longer than that, but you always get a little concerned about that. And anytime you're talking about any pitcher, but especially the guy who's still considered, and rightfully so, the ace of this staff, which has been very good. And he got the win last night. That matters. The injury obviously overshadowing it. And the Twins, the A's continue to get pounded late in games. Their pitching staff is woeful once they get past the 3rd, 4th inning. I think they've given up 8 runs in 6, 7 straight games. Willie Castro hit a couple of home runs. Royce Lewis finally got a hit. He ended the 0 for 36.
Well, they stopped the game and they're sending the ball to Cooperstown, apparently.
I hit one off the wall in left center with the bases loaded, got a couple RBIs, and he had a big smile on his face and lifted his average to 133. They were hitting the ball pretty well. I mean, it's Castro got the 2 home runs. France is hitting well. Buxton continues on a nice streak and doing things that Byron Buxton can do, especially with his speed. I mean, he hit one, and all of a sudden the ball got away from the outfielder, and he just turned on the jets and got into second base in a split second. So, they finished up. They're playing in Sacramento, of course. Finish up the series tonight and go for that sweep. And that's just got to keep.
Have you ever been to West Sacramento?
I've been to the only time I've been to Sacramento was when the Timberwolves in 2004. Remember they played Sacramento Kings.
Is that West Sacramento?
I don't know.
Central, North, East, South?
I have no idea.
I didn't know they had Sacramento split up into, geographic. I just thought it was Sacramento, but it's West Sacramento.
I just remember going driving around and going to shopping areas where they had a lot of fun little...
what did you buy? Do you remember?
A lot of stuff with hemp in it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Okay. Clothing, mostly.
Oh.
I bought some items with hemp. I just remember that.
Yeah.
And
I have a hemp hat.
Oh.
It's like a little beanie.
Yeah.
With a maroon, and then I have my McGovern Eagleton campaign bumper sticker.
Funny.
Right?
That's funny. Yeah, it's kind of a. I mean,
Eagleton.
I mean, this is back in 2004, but it was kind of a throwback, almost like the hippie days, a little bit. Sacramento, the capital, obviously, and
I'm still annoyed that they dumped Eagleton from the ticket just because they found out that he had some shock treatments to treat depression. So they said, well, he can't be on the ticket. How sad is that? And then they replaced him with Maria Shriver. No, not Maria. Sergeant Shriver.
Sergeant Shriver.
Her dad.
Back in the day.
He became the vice presidential candidate. And it was like, well, that's why 2 elections ago I wrote in Thomas Eagleton for president, because I thought he deserved to get a vote.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he got your vote.
He did.
Yeah.
You're getting ripped.
For what?
The Panthers play in Sunrise, Florida. Their fan base is almost exclusively Fort Lauderdale and Broward County.
Yeah.
Fair weather Miami Heat fans, they're not. It's an hour away from Miami. So you're ripping Miami, and Miami fans.
You brought up Miami. I didn't. You brought up Eastern. I don't care where they're from, Broward County. I just don't like that area. I don't care for it. I mean, from a sports standpoint, hockey, I'm sorry. I want Edmonton. I'm not apologizing for wanting the Edmonton Oilers to win a cup.
Just think, month from today, we celebrate this great country's 249th birthday. And Mark Benedict Arnold Rosen wants nothing more than for a team from Canada to win the cup. What a traitor.
It's their sport.
I don't know how KFAN can support such vile anti-American rhetoric.
It's vile.
Why don't you just move to Canada, Maple Mark?
Maple Mark?
Yeah, why don't Maple Leaf Mark? How did you know? Why don't you move to Canada, Maple Leaf Mark?
Well, I was in Toronto last summer, and I loved it. I did love Toronto. It's the first time I've been there since the Twins were there in 91, and I was very impressed with the international flavor of that city. That was last year, but that's the first time I've been to...
About to be the 51st state.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I don't know. Why don't we merge with Canada and just have... be the country of Canada.
Think how...
we don't need to be the United States. We can just we can call it Canada. I mean, either one works, right?
It doesn't matter. Yeah. So,
so
I'm not that heavily invested in emotionally in this series that starts tonight. But
and then here we go. Reefer Rosen, because you were a big hemp guy.
Oh, yeah. But I wasn't... It was truly just hemp. It wasn't like... this was long before the marijuana shops popped up all over the place, THC and all that. It was just hemp. And it's cool. It's a very cool clothing. I just remember that part of it, other than just an hellacious series that, Garnett and company faced, Chris Webber and Stojakovic, whoever was on that team. They had some, it was a really good series. And Sacramento had very passionate basketball fans.
Right.
And that was a fun time. I enjoyed being there.
Rosen probably got bad swordfish in Miami. That's why he dislikes it.
I haven't been to Miami for a while.
Yeah. I've never been to Miami.
Seriously? I've been to South Beach
I don't have that world traveler in me like you got.
Well, a lot of times it was for work, but other times I used to go to the West Coast. I would go to Captiva and Sanibel.
I've been to Captiva. I've been to both of those.
Obviously, all my trips to Fort Myers, but mostly because when my kids were younger.
So I highly recommend Sanibel and Captiva.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I hope they've. I know. I guess we'd have to ask Lavelle because he's been down there more recently than I have. They got hit really hard with the hurricane, and they were still rebuilding Fort Myers Beach area, and the West Coast doesn't get hit all that often, but. Sanibel and Captiva are wonderful. It's very, very relaxing down there. I've always liked that area. And Naples, half of Minnesota goes to Naples during the wintertime. And they literally have a Minnesota club down there. And
really?
Restaurants and, it's just overly populated with Minnesotan snowbirds that go down to Naples in particular. Marco Island, that whole area down there.
That's where you like hanging out. Naples, Marco Island.
I just haven't been
beautiful there people.
The beautiful people.
Well, I haven't been there for quite a while.
Marco Rosen Island.
Marco Island. I haven't been there. No, I'm more of I'm a Palm Beach guy. Palm Springs, excuse me.
Palm Springs.
Did I say Palm Beach? I'm going to say Palm Springs. I like Palm Springs a lot.
Other side of the world.
Yeah.
By the way, Power Trip Bets has confirmed Rosie is correct that he won the bet with the Wolves winning games 2 through 4 against the Warriors versus Common for $4.
That's what I thought.
I also think you owe me $4.
Who, me?
No,
I owe
Common.
10. Well, I know that.
That was the Stars Jets series.
Oh.
I had the Stars.
So you're in arrears
So
already.
you're down $8.
What?
Yeah.
What bet did we make about Warriors?
Well, thank you, Power
What?
Trip Bets.
After Steph Curry went down,
Yeah,
I think Rosen had said the Wolves would win 3 in a row, and you bet them.
Yeah.
And they won 3 in a row.
There you go.
All right.
Huh?
So I owe him what?
You owe him $4, you owe me $4.
Anybody got change for 10?
You might need to raise that $5 bet for the Stanley Cup Final with Rosie to make up for this.
That's not how I do it.
He doesn't
I don't
panic.
throw good money after bad, trust me. We'll take a break, and I'll try to break a 10 and pay off, and then we'll be back with a little bit more here on The Fan.
Unlock smarter learning with Lenovo AI-powered PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Head to Lenovo.com and choose from multiple devices to fit your passions. If you're a gamer, you can spend less time stressing about GPUs and CPUs and more time dominating with your AI-enabled Smart Engine, which optimizes your game performance in real time. Or maybe you're a scientist on the verge of a groundbreaking discovery and need a device with a longer battery life and AI-enhanced tools to give you extra time to finish your research. Or you're a musician preparing for your biggest break and need better, faster AI tools to make digital art a breeze, like creating band posters and t-shirt designs. Or you're a soon-to-be graduate needing to catch a recruiter's eye to land that dream job, so you need cutting-edge smart tools to build your portfolio from scratch. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers get 5% off with an education account on Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
Couple 13-14 past. This is the Common Man program, final second. I'm Common East Tennessee. And Mark Rosen here. You're getting ripped again. This one says, Maple Leaf Mark thinks half of all Minnesotans can afford to just go down to Naples and live for the winter. Some of us have to stay back with our families and work to provide a living. Stick to syrup and moose tracks, Mark.
To what?
Syrup and moose tracks.
What does that mean?
Maple Leafs, they make syrup.
Oh, I see. That's
moose
funny.
tracks.
That's funny.
Yeah, why don't you just stick to
it may
syrup
have
and...
been a bit of an exaggeration,
Yeah.
but I think when you go down there, you realize how many Minnesotans do go down that area. It's not my favorite area either anymore. It just isn't. I mean, I'd rather go to, like I said, if I'm going to go someplace warm that time of year, I'd rather go west, young.
Yeah, well, you're a big Rat Pack guy.
I am. I'm kind of old school. I love some of the old school places they have there. Turn the clock back, and you take a tour, architectural tours, and then it's astonishing to see the different homes that were built there. But Sinatra had his place here, and Bing Crosby.
Blue Eyes, we called him.
Blue Eyes, yeah, because his house was right near the airport, so when he landed, he could get to Vegas pretty quickly, and do his thing, and he would land there, and he'd get his little escort over to his house, and he's all set to go.
What does the number 8 mean to you?
8-0 Lynx.
Correct. So all we do is win.
Yeah, I watched a lot of that game last night. I mean, we were home last night, and there's a couple things that you notice about Cheryl Reeve. I mean, and Phoenix was injury riddled last night. They talking to Marnie even yesterday afternoon, before our program password debacle, from our standpoint. She was saying, this is not the Diana Taurasi team and Brittany Griner, and they've had some championship teams there, and they still have a good team, but a lot of their top players are hurt. So, but I don't think Cheryl Reeve is in the mood for mercy. It's not their problem, like you always say. So they had a nice effort last night. But what I liked, late in the game, they finally, they benched, Nafisa Collier and their starters, and some of the reserves got a chance to play. And Looking at Cheryl during a timeout, I just noticed more than anything is it's not a question of her just stop coaching. I mean, she coached them up. If you just turned the TV on at that point and didn't know the score or didn't know the situation, she was as emphatic about what she expected from those players as she would have been in the first half.
What a winner does.
Yeah, I mean, she's that engaged all the time, and I think that's why she's one of the best and why she was the Olympic coach. And we're blessed to have her in our presence, as they say, not just as the coach, but really the head of the whole Lynx operation. So, yeah, they're in a good place right now. You guys were talking about it earlier. Are they already on the proverbial collision course with the New York Liberty?
I think they are.
And you're on your own after that. That's a long ways away, but they have a really nice balance.
It'll be here before you know it, Mark.
October? Yeah. Is that when it is? I think. Yeah.
What is Mark's disdain for things to the east? First St. Paul and now Florida. What's next?
Don't make me laugh.
What's next, Mark? Everything east of the Mississippi. You just have a disdain. A disdain for. Disdain.
No, I do not have a disdain for disdain.
La Casa del Camino, Laguna Beach, California, old Spanish hotel right on the ocean. Amazing is what our text messenger says.
Yeah, I've not been there. No,
I'm not either.
No.
Here's another. Wow. San Miguel, Palm Springs, Sanibel, Rio, Marcos Island. Must be rough to be ritzy Rosen.
Well,
after all, we know they're available to everyone.
Put in 50 years and get back to me.
Yeah.
You know what?
They're available to everybody.
You know what? Let me tell you about the dozens and dozens of dozens without mentioning any particular place I stayed, when I went on the company's dime and where they put me up. I will tell you the one time back in 2000, well, it was 2003. I was covering the Wild, they're on their run when they went through Denver and then Vancouver, eventually Anaheim, and lost to Anaheim. Went to Vancouver, gorgeous city, hadn't been there forever, and the team was staying like at the Four Seasons or something, and I was traveling by myself because the station couldn't afford to send, or they said they couldn't afford to send a photographer, so I had to use someone in Canada to shoot my video and do my live shots, et cetera, et cetera. I drove my rental car into this hotel. I opened the door, and they had shag carpeting inside my room that was so thick I could barely open the door. I literally put my luggage down, picked up the phone. I think Billy Robb was still with the Wild. I said, "Get me a room now." I literally walked out.
Shag carpet was so thick you couldn't get your door closed?
Yes. It was that.
Where was this?
In Vancouver, of this kind of a real off-the-road area of Vancouver. Vancouver's beautiful, but this was not.
No, this was a hotel.
This was a hotel.
Well, it's funny. I like Holiday Inn hotels, mostly because of their, speaking of, can't get a
breakfast?
That can't get something closed. I like their soft, fluffy towels. So soft and fluffy, in fact, I can hardly get my suitcase closed.
I was waiting for that.
That was a long way.
That's a flop, sweat, and tears.
It was a stretch. Sorry about that.
No, I've stayed at when I covered Mauer's first All-Star game in Pittsburgh, we ended up staying at a place. It was kind of a last-minute decision. We stayed at a place, I think, where Anthony Perkins may have started his run before Psycho. It was that eerie. It was like a Friday the 13th place where they had, I was in a basement type of room near the boiler room, and they had something resembling a hot tub in the second room I was in. Huh? And I looked in it, I went, oh my God, I don't even want to know what went on in this place. But I had to stay there. We had nowhere else to go.
Sounds like where Deuce spent the last couple of years of his college life.
So I mean, these are the places I have stayed long before I've had the opportunity on my own to stay in nicer places. Yes, most of them were like that. So I could write a book about those experiences.
Well, you already wrote one, but you mean Jim Bruton could write a book?
Well, Jim Bruton could write it, and I could add my own 2 cents.
I mean, could I get a rim shot for that?
That's good.
Thank you.
Yes,
appreciate that. How about? To me, this is an outrage.
Okay.
women's professional hockey league is expanding. They're having an expansion draft. Right. You can only protect 3 players. What?
That's crazy.
What up with that?
I don't know.
I mean, we've got more than 3 really good players. Who do we protect, and have we had announcements?
Protect.
Yeah,
yes.
who did we protect?
Taylor Heisey,
yep.
Lee Steckline, stud defenseman, and then I was surprised at the other one because she's a little bit on the older side. Coyne Schofield.
But they could lose 4.
She's speedy though.
Likely to lose 4 top players from their team to what? Speaking of Vancouver and Seattle, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't seem fair. It's sort of like the.
It's an outrage, is what it is.
Well, I mean, explain to me the difference, Tenna, when Vegas got their expansion team in the NHL and they had immediate success. I mean,
well, that was not nearly as favorable a rules as these are.
Man, I still can't believe
these are literally like you could grab 2 first-line players on every team.
I mean,
which seems extreme to me.
12 members of this year's championship team eligible to be plucked away by an expansion team.
I think it's an outrage is what it is.
It is outrage. I would protest. Speaking of hockey, Tenna, you're the hockey guy here. Brock Nelson not going to end up going to Minnesota. He re-signed, right?
He re-signed with the Colorado Avalanche. So he didn't even get to free agency.
Surprised? Are you upset? Are you...
A little... Well, I shouldn't say I'm surprised. I do think if he got to free agency, the Wild would have been heavy on him.
Yep.
And I thought he had some interest as well. Ultimately, for all we know, maybe they're not supposed to talk about contract numbers, but maybe he got wind of what contract numbers the Wild are going to offer and thought, well, this 7.5 a year from Colorado sounds nice.
Yeah.
So it's possible he stayed for more money, or let's face it, Colorado's probably got a better chance to win a Stanley Cup.
No, there's that.
So at the time, like the Brock Nelson rumors have been going for a while. When he was playing for the Islanders, they knew he wasn't going to be in New York after the season was over. So him getting traded to Colorado at the time, we're like, it's not where we would want, as a Wild fan, we'd want him to get traded to.
Boy, the expectations are such for Bill Guerin to do something. He finally got out from under the Suter Parisi stuff. We all know that. And I still think there's probably limitations of what he can probably pull off, but he got to make some moves and will be making moves, I'm sure, once the Stanley Cup's over. I hope.
Bill Guerin likes to be aggressive, and he can finally be aggressive. So
yeah.
Now, you might look at it and go, hey, this is not a great market for us. Let's just save our money for next year.
Yeah, interesting.
But it's hard to do after you've been sitting on your hands for the last 4 or 5 years.
Exactly.
I've stayed at places so bad the carpeting was too thick. Oh, the horror. Roughing it, Rosen. The carpet was too thick for Mark.
That one.
Well, let me just add that it was a really out of the way place too. It wasn't anywhere near the arena where I had to go. It wasn't anywhere near where the Wild were, where I had to do my show. Working with people I'd never seen or met before in my life, and the room was disgusting.
Carpet was too thick for him.
Well,
much like when Barrero had his deli meat cut, it was too thick for him. He said it's not going to work.
I think I described the other hotel, the motel from hell in Pittsburgh that was probably a lot worse. That may have been the worst one I ever stayed.
Hotels now, what I'm finding out is they're putting either hardwood or vinyl plank flooring.
Probably.
But it only makes sense because nobody removes their shoes when they go into a motel room. So they're bringing in all the dirt and grime and stuff, and the carpets just get so.
Yeah.
Baby brother Peter and I used to.
Black light.
When we would go on the road for basketball tournaments, we would just despise walking on the carpets. So the best part was once we go to Indianapolis. I come out of the shower and I'm wearing a pair of slippers. And I gave him a big smile. He goes, "Where'd you get those?" I go, "I brought them, and you ain't using them."
Not using them.
Oh, he wanted them so bad. I teased him. I said, "Boy, it's nice to not have to walk on dirty carpets."
Yeah.
Then I sent him a picture once. This is what I told him what you do when you're in a hotel with really dirty carpets. You walk around the room way against the wall like this.
Right.
Because no one's walked on the carpet next to the walls.
Interesting.
So I sent him a picture of just my feet up against the wall.
You're weird.
It's not weird. It's funny.
It is funny.
That's comedy gold is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
Are you a big you're a college football guy.
I'm looking forward. I always look forward to the college football season. I mean, it's hard to be I don't know where you're going with this, but I mean, I think it's harder and harder each year because we don't know what. Coy Parrish, was that his name? Our guy, who's going to be maybe a two-way.
Rudy Perpich, I think.
Rudy Perpich. I mean, you don't know. You need a scorecard every single year now because the nil and the transfer, which I hope could be exciting as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't know where you're going with the discussion.
Well, what I was just going with is I saw that CBS Sports has released their post-spring consensus.
Oh,
top 25.
Let me guess. Alabama.
And, of course, we're not there.
No.
They have Ohio State, the defending national champs, at number 1.
What a shock. Georgia.
The Arch Manning era begins now, right in Texas. Is that correct?
I believe that's
They have him
true.
They have them at number 2.
Really?
We have another Big Ten team appearing in the top 10. The Nittany Lions of Penn State
usually
are in the 3rd spot. Your Clemson Tigers at 4. Georgia Bulldogs at 5. The Fighting Irish take the 6th slot, while the Oregon Ducks are at 7. LSU at 8. Alabama 9. And the Illinois Fighting Illini.
That's surprising.
At number 10.
Wow.
So the Big Ten, which is actually the Big 8 team, it sounds more like 13, 14, has 3 teams in the top 10, followed by the Sun Devils, the BYU Cougars, the Florida Gators at 13. Gamecocks are at 14. Then it's your Michigan Wolverines. I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. I can't. Boy, at Ohio State. How do I ever say that? The School Up North Wolverines are in the number 15 slot. Kansas State Wildcats at 16. Cyclones of Iowa State at 17. Ole Miss, SMU. Indiana at 20.
They had a great year last year.
Texas Tech at 21. The Volunteers take up the 22nd spot. Aggies at 23. Sooners 24. Louisville Cardinals at 25. No Minnesota Golden Gophers, and I didn't expect them to be there, but that's the battle you face with nil, and then transfer portal. And when you look at how stacked the Big Ten is, you got 4 or 5 Big Ten teams there. It's just hard to.
And I think a lot of hard to participate. Prognosticators are also throwing darts because you don't know what kind of team you're going to have. And the Gophers do have Ohio State and Oregon on their schedule this year, and that in itself will present quite the challenge, but. You don't know. I mean, there will be surprise teams. Indiana was a big surprise team until they got smacked by Ohio State right in the Big Ten championship game last year. But yeah, there's always a surprise team or 2 or 3, and it's really hard to say. I mean, you already reading about PJ's recruiting class for next year and some of the players he signed, at least got committed to. I can't say signed anymore. That. Especially offensive linemen that look, you normally don't associate with Minnesota getting. But, it's always a little bit of a crapshoot. You don't know what you have. I mean, there's always going to be surprise teams, and it's a matter of how the PGA Flex of the world can coach some of these guys up, and you got to have the skilled positions and have that kind of already tailor-made base that's already associated with your program, which, the Gophers are striving to get to.
The hotel that Ritzy Rosen stayed in to cover the Wild was too far away from where the Wild were playing. Mm-hmm. He should be used to that. He tends to stay as far away from the Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul as he possibly can. Hey-o, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny stuff.
Well, it's actually sad.
No, really. It's not. Listen, I'm sorry. I covered every playoff game they've been in.
Might want to get there for a regular season game.
I do once in a while. Yeah.
You were in all their playoff games this past season?
Not
you
this
covered
past
all of them?
season. No, not this. This is the first one I've missed.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Well, I wasn't working.
But you sure didn't miss any of those.
You said you've covered every playoff game you've ever been in. That's what you said.
Up until this year.
Okay.
Yeah,
but they make it sound like going to St. Paul. I mean,
you didn't miss any of those.
I've been to St. Paul more than 99% of those people that write in.
You didn't.
I did miss one of the Wolves games.
You didn't miss any of those Wolves games.
I did, actually. I stayed home for one of them.
Oh.
Yeah. Watched it on the tube.
Oh, yeah, Oregon is in the Big... somebody corrected me. Oregon is in the Big 18. We have 4 in the top 10. I forgot.
Oh, you forgot. Oregon you were discounting Oregon.
Well, I just forget that they're with us.
The Fighting Ducks, as Ahmad Rashad likes to call them. Not the Ducks, the Fighting Ducks.
It just seems strange that they're in the Big 10. I say it's hard
still does. Well, it still does with USC and UCLA.
It's not that I'm not accepting it. It's just hard to get used to the fact that
a lot of things are hard to get used to in college sports right now.
When they were in the Pac-10 or whatever they were for all those years.
More of a traditionalist, it's difficult to wrap your head around it.
So where will you stay tonight? At your regular place or at Kowalski's? Where are you staying tonight?
Wouldn't be at my regular place.
Where you live? You have a place you
both.
live. I mean, and Kowalski's is like you practically live there.
Tilapia is on the menu tonight with a nice crust. I can't remember. It's like a spice they put on top of it. So it's really good. Put it in the air fryer for like 15 minutes. It's as delicious as it gets.
So what will you have with the tilapia?
Probably a salad. I don't know.
Caesars or garden salad?
We pick up usually Saturday mornings. We walk down to the farmers market by the Guthrie, and they're just now kind of getting into full swing. And we pick up greens down there that normally last for the week.
Okay,
they mix them with another part of the salad, and we chop up some vegetables to put in there and eat a really healthy dinner. So I'm not sure what time Karen's getting back tonight. But
I'll probably eat something that's got a lot of calories in it.
No, you won't.
Well, I will, because my wife makes dinner for the boys, and they're growing boys. And they
it's
can
different now. Yeah, now there are more calories flying around the common household. Because it's not just the two of you. That's a big change.
Put it this way.
Is she...
Even the fact that I eat food that is not probably great for, staying slender, I'm at my perfect weight. If I was 7 feet 8 inches tall, I'd be at my perfect weight.
Is your wife like going, wait a minute, I just got rid of this guy. Why is he back? Why is Deuce back in my house again?
No,
she's very happy. No, I'm just...
The grocery bill is quadrupled.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that's the difference. They're...
I can't believe how much those two guys eat.
Yeah.
I mean...
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, they're... Of
course, I've been eating since 1 o'clock.
You haven't stopped since I've been here.
I haven't stopped eating since 1 o'clock. Just constantly.
Yeah, but you're eating healthy. Looks like you got fruit over there.
Cherries.
Yeah.
The peach had kind of gone a little mushy by the time I got to it. It's, the peaches are one of my favorite fruits. However, there's a very short lifespan for them, because when you buy them, they're still a little, hard, right?
Right.
And to wait for that ripening spot. But then they stay ripe for like 2 days, and then they get soggy, so you got to be very careful with them. It's always good to see them.
Yeah, sure. Got another one tomorrow.
Ritzy Rosen.
Still Laurie Mondello got it.
We'll see you tomorrow, 2 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Tenemy, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
I thought we did a bang-up job as well, and you were pretty darn good, too. We'll see you tomorrow, 12 noon, but don't touch that dial. Stick around. Big Ticket JG. They're next, right? Cheering the Fan.
And now till we meet again. Rosen, you don't know nothing. Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. And good night, Minnesota. And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are. You like that? You like that?
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
Want to feel more creative but don't have the right laptop? Lenovo.com can help. Look through our legendary lineup of AI-powered PCs and devices and find the one that fits your passion. Our PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, as well as cutting-edge AI tools, allow students to focus, learn, and create with ease. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers can get 5% off their order. Shop now on Lenovo.com. The future's waiting, and it needs you.
Some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com. ODOO.com.